I'm just playing with my intro, creating something better than a 30-second countdown, playing with my intro, while walking down the stairs into my office. This is a mini tour of our house. I hope you like it. I hope you like it. Well, I just got there now. Woo-hoo. This is just a test. Wow. My buffoonery knows no bounds. Hello and hey. Welcome, Energy Party people, to another fabulous episode of Magic Mondays. I'm your hostess, Colleen McCann. As you can see below, I am not only an author, an energy healer, but also a fabulous podcast guest. Yeah, and now I'm having some hair problems. Don't mind me. Oh, and by the way, you'll probably hear some loud noises because today is the day that our deck is being replaced. We are renting this home, and our landlord told us, and this is no, what's the word? No diss on him. We love our landlord, and I believe it was, well, in January, it'll be 9 years since we've lived here. And when we came to look at the house, I believe what he said is, "Oh yeah, this will all be replaced." Well, he wasn't lying. Anyway, almost 9 years later, whatever, it's all good. Yeah. So if you hear loud noises, that is why. Okay. So yeah. Here is Yvonne. Hello, Yvonne. I'm so glad you're here. I almost sent you a message earlier. I'll message you later. Yeah, so let's go ahead and play Yvonne's theme song, and then we'll play my beautiful theme song. Da, da, da. Here we go. Yvonne is in the house. Check her out. You gotta love the double.
Yvonne
is in the house. Check her out. It really is hard to be cool sometimes. And I'm going to figure out this hair thing because this is redonkulous. Okay. Well, thank you. Okay. So, and just so you know, Koop is here on standby. He'll be joining us a little bit early today because my friend Natalie is going to be joining us around 11:20, and then Koop has another gig soon. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and play my beautiful theme song, care of the ever talented Artica Productions. Here we go.
You are magic. We are magic. Magic Mondays with Colleen.
Okay. Well, I'm so happy the sun is behaving right now. Like right before we started, it was like crazy bright. So have not figured that out yet. Well, right now the sun is cooperating, and the deck isn't loud, and the stars are aligning. So let's see what is happening. Real quick, I should probably be finishing up my listening to my audiobook and noting the like last minute corrections, and then we'll probably be finishing correcting those tomorrow and re-recording a few. And yeah, I'm finding myself, I've probably said this before, but I'm finding myself in a weird position of, oh, there's the noise. Can you hear it yet? I'm finding myself in a weird position of like, I love my book so much, what it's turned into, and when I read it back and when I hear it read back by myself, my own stories, I'm like amazed how much I love it. Hope that doesn't sound egotistical, but it's hard to talk about like, yeah, what I created was is really fucking great. Um, yeah, so if you think I'm an asshole, oh well. If you think I'm an asshole, why are you watching? Not cool. Anyway, so yeah, lots going on. Yeah, so much so my brain is a little like, which is kind of nice because it's been, yeah, it's like several different projects are all, I'm just allowing them to unfold. And yeah, it's been really exciting and cool. Yeah, but let's go ahead and well, first of all, let's talk about my sponsor this week. Let me get to that. Do, do, do. Today's sponsor is, it's a new hit children's show called I Love Humanity. Hugh is a frolicking manatee by day, superhero fighting crime at night. I love humanity. That's right. Okay, so welcome to our sponsor. Let's see. This just in. Ooh, yay! Art and Erica are here. Yay! I'm so glad. Um, yeah. So let's get back to the theme songs. Okay, here you guys go.
Art and Erica, Erica and Art. Thank you for joining us, doing your part. Yeah!
Yeah. All right. Ooh. Ooh. Seriously, my buffoonery knows no bounds. Yeah. So the talented and beautiful and inspirational, um, amazing artist, etc., mother, wife. Janelle is here. Yay, Janelle. And yeah, and and she says, "Oh, stop." And for anybody who doesn't know, Janelle is the person who I saw on Facebook. Um, one day, I was just waiting for Dave to be done with his enemas. Good story, bro. And I looked at Facebook for a second. The first thing I saw was Janelle, a picture of Janelle with her head shaved, and a caption like, "I just did this," or something like that. And within moments, I'm like, what is happening? Like, I'm going to shave my head today. So she's the inspiration behind me rocking a short hairdo. And she said, "Ooh, okay." She finished my book. Yay! Well, I'm so glad. I hope you enjoyed it. And back to the book. One second,
Drink.
because in case you don't know, anytime I mention my book, it's a drinking game. Yeah, I don't suggest drinking though in this drinking game. Don't participate because you'll be hammered within like 10 minutes. Anyway, yeah, what was I gonna say about the book? I don't know. It's all about the book right now. And I can only imagine it's gonna be for quite a while. So anyway, Janelle, I'm so happy you're here. And I don't believe I have a theme song for you, but let me just make sure. Let me go through my list here. Yeah, I'm not seeing a theme song, which is a crying shame. Let's just make one up real quick. Janelle is here today. Um, Yay, welcome. Okay, make me stop because just like last week, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good and I already don't have a lot of filters. So yeah, a little less filtered today. Yeah. Janelle also says my amazing book. Yay. Anywho, okay, so let's bring Coop on real quick, and he'll probably hang out with us for a little bit with Natalie as well. But as I mentioned, he's got a gig, so he'll be ducking out when he ducks out. So anyway, so all right, so let's go ahead and bring Coop on right now. Here we go. Here's your theme song. Enjoy.
Ooh, ooh, we're
Ooh,
catching
we're catching
up with
up.
Koop.
Ooh,
We're catching up with Koop.
ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Hey,
Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing really for Monday morning especially. No,
Well,
so
great.
yeah, got back from the gym and got things to do today. So yeah, no, I'm feeling about as right as I've felt in a long, long time. So
Well, yay. Keep up the good work.
yeah,
Anything exciting planned for today?
um, not really exciting. I'm going to. I have a uh, loan signing at 12:30, and then I'm going to a place to get my fingerprints taken for my Arizona non-resident concealed carry permit.
Wow.
Because if I get my Arizona permit, uh, my California permit is not recognized by any states because California doesn't recognize anybody else's. So, but if I get one in Arizona, I can travel to 40 states and still be able to carry legally. So,
Wow. Well, okay.
And it's all easy. It's easy and way easier, way cheaper than California makes it. So there's something that they recommended during my last week I had my my 8-hour class and
Oh, right.
all qualification and stuff, and so they talk about that in the class. So yeah,
Wow, it's
this
pretty
was
loud over here. The
pardon
deck.
me?
Oh, they're taking
Oh,
the deck apart right now, and they're like power drilling or undrilling screws. And oh, it just stopped.
well, the mic filter is working pretty well because I can't hear it.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
What was I going to ask you? Oh, damn it. Damn those drills. But
no,
yay, new deck. I think it's
Yeah.
a new deck. He tends to just kind of repair things, sort of.
yeah.
So, but they seem to be ripping it apart, which is great. I guess it's because I finally told him, like, well, I'm a little bit fearful in walking out onto the deck for fear I might one of these bouncy boards. I'm just gonna go through it. And don't really feel comfortable having people over on the deck because they could step on any one of these nails that are like maybe that's what did it. I don't know.
Sounds like
Oh,
it's about
hold that thought. It's 11:11 on the West Coast, at least. And go ahead and let's all make a wish. And we'll look at my beautiful office chair. Here we go. All right. So odd picture to pick, but anyway, yeah. So, well, I'm really happy that you're feeling.
yeah. I am.
You seem more like you.
I'm pretty chipper. So now, if I mentioned to you, I haven't actually talked to Brock because he won't reply me back, and he hasn't responded to my last 3 texts. But apparently, I talked to his sister, and she says that he's pledging a fraternity. Did I mention that last week?
Yeah, but not Sigma Chi.
No, because I never even mentioned it to him. I figured he was not a fraternity kind of guy. I never imagined he would be a joiner like that. So I never even mentioned it to him. So yeah, so I still don't know anything. I asked him is he pledging Phi Alpha Theta. No reply back. He did invite me to some alumni parent thing last weekend, but I couldn't make it, and that's all I've heard from him. So no,
Well,
as long as he's
that's a
busy,
good
having fun, and happy. Yes, that's all I care about. So
Yeah, like, why is my shoulder so itchy? Pardon me, folks.
better check in on that.
I know, right? I had the weirdest thing happening with my wrist recently, and I noticed, like, I'd pick up, like, a dish. Like, we do have some heavy dishes that me and my ex-husband bought when we first got married from, I believe, Williams-Sonoma. Anyway, in case you're wondering, so they're pretty heavy because I had to have yellow dishes. Anyway, and so I just picked it up, and it's just like, ow! Like, I have no strength, and it's like I'd make these weird motions, and yeah, just weird, no strength. And a part of my brain went to, like, well, maybe it's because you're getting older. Like, okay, fuck that noise. And so, yeah, I checked on it, cleared up something, and it's been absolutely nothing. It's like it was never like that recently. Anyway, yay me. Anything else going on?
It is an exceptionally beautiful fall here in Northern California. It's getting a little chilly at night. It was down to like 49 last night. So, I mean, but even still, that's not really that cold. And yeah, it's been great. It's been beautiful, and I'm feeling good. So,
Oh, good. And Aries is still doing absolutely fine without his sister.
yeah, he's doing great. In fact, he started get into a pattern. We go out in the morning. He smells a certain bush, pees on a certain bush. Then as soon as he's done, he takes off running. I have to actually run full speed to keep up with him.
Maybe it's kind of his version of ding dong ditching.
I don't know. He's just extra happy and excited when he's done peeing on that spot.
Wow. And he gets all of your attention now, so that's kind of great for him.
He does. Yeah, he's pretty happy, I think.
Yeah.
So, not that she was really raining on his parade. They didn't really,
Because they weren't super connected, right?
But I guess maybe she was in more pain than I thought, and just her vibe was out there kind of slowing everybody down. I don't know. So,
well, she's free to frolic now.
yeah.
Yay. Anything else?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. So how about Well, I'm just gonna bring Natalie on,
Yeah,
and you can hang out as long as you'd like.
I
And
will, and then I'll just drop off when I have to. So that's
yeah,
cool.
perfect. So I
Right on.
love you. Thanks for being here, and keep up the good work. And now let's bring on the beautiful, talented, magical, sexy. God, what am I doing? Once again, another week of me talking about sexy women. Yeah, specifically sexy women in my life. So I realized, Natalie, I don't have a theme song for you, so I made up a really craptastic. Well, they're all craptastic, um, but some are a little less craptastic. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just play it. I don't remember how to download it on my computer, so I'm gonna play it off my cell phone to make it extra good quality sound. So, Natalie, as I bring you on, here is your song. Let me find, oh, come on. Let me find your song. Oh, is he already gone? What's happening? Okay, so here we go. Natalie, it's Natalie. She's here today. Welcome. Welcome. All right. Oh, sorry. And ta-da, here's Natalie.
Good morning. I love that song.
High quality.
It was great. It was, yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of good songs by you written about me, and that was up
Oh my
there.
God. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, you've been the recipient of a few Dave and Colleen brilliant
I've been a very fortunate, blessed, privileged recipient of these
yeah.
song lyrical content of magical proportions. So
Do-
yes, thank you.
well, thank you for being here today. I mean, gosh, I'm not even sure what to say about you. You do so many amazing things,
Oh,
and from my perspective, you have this beautiful way of weaving together so many different modalities. And so you're here to talk about your class that's coming
yeah.
up. So I'm just going to put that on the screen for a moment. So it's accessing the wisdom of the 9 star key, elemental archetype astrology. And so how about you tell us a little bit about that? And is it a weaving together of different things? Is it kind of your thing, or is it?
Yeah, so I did not create the 9 star key. It's actually been around for thousands of years. So it is part of kind of the umbrella, shall we say, of Chinese medicine, which under that umbrella is acupuncture, qigong, herbalism, moxibustion, cupping, gua sha, feng shui is under there, and then astrology. And in the Chinese astrology, there's a few different modalities. So there's something called like 4 pillars, and then there's stems and branches. And that's kind of the one that people mostly know, which is where when you go to a Chinese restaurant and you sit down on the placemat. I remember when I was a kid, that was a thing. You know, you get your little placemat, and it would have your year that you were born, and then you could figure out if you were born in the year of whatever. Like, so like this year,
Go horses.
2024. That's right, girl. Yeah, so this 2024 is the year of the dragon. I'm born in the year of the dog. You're born in the year of the horse. That's why we make very good friends. Dogs and horses are great friends. Dogs and dragons are not good friends, actually. So it's really kind of a mess. And so whenever you are in a year of an unsupportive animal, that can be kind of difficult. So that's one system. So the system that I learned when I was in acupuncture school, when I was learning feng shui and doing a whole bunch of other, expanding my horizon, shall we say, of different woo-woo spiritual modalities, I came across the 9 star key, and it was amazing because it basically took what I was learning in school for acupuncture and Chinese medicine and blended it with feng shui principles, because it uses the same 8 squares that we use on the lo pan and the bagua for feng shui. That's a lot of like technical words, but it uses that same idea, and it creates like this idea of astrology. So you get to learn more about yourself, about other people, about the world, about your relationships. It teaches us a lot to do with like divination too. It's one of my favorite divinatory tools, very similar to like a lot of people will cast like the I Ching runes, and then they'll get like combinations and they'll look up their trigram, and it's very similar to that too. So you can use it to forecast kind of and plan, because I'm a planner. I like to plan. I know you do too. Kind of where you're at, where you're headed, what are the topics, the themes, the universal influences that are currently impacting you, the life lessons that you're meant to be learning, according to these very specific patterns and very specific cycles that are available for us. So I love it.
Sorry to interrupt you. So are you saying that like a regular person could take your class and start, well, like understanding themselves more, but like just on a real practical level, like, so I'm trying to think of a good example. So like for what I do, you know what I do. So like if I, for example, maybe it's a terrible example, but if I have a headache, I get out my pendulum and I start asking about the energy behind it. So would that be a thing where you could use something like this for, or is it more of like working on something in the future, or?
This is a more big picture system. So not for very specific little things that are happening throughout the day. So what this looks like is very, very similar to Western astrology. So what we do is we look at your birthday first and foremost, because your birthday is encoded with a blueprint for your life. So it's very similar to an idea of where you would find out like your main triplicity. Like to understand astrology, you really want to look at the sun, the moon, and the rising sign. Those 3 signs and planets and houses and whatever, they're going to give you so much information. It's a nice encapsulation about a person. So it's very similar in the 9-star key. We look at 3 key elements. We look at your birth star, your inner star, and your outer star. And those stars give us information into your birth star is like very much like your sun sign. So your general traits and characteristics, your personality, kind of like how you come off in this world, what you're attracted to, drawn towards, that type of thing. Your inner star is very similar to your moon sign. So it's your emotional nature, who you are when you get triggered. So like this would be perfect for people with your who follow you, because like, you know, we look at our triggers like all the time with the work, right? And in this, you're given like a blueprint of like, oh, these are your main triggers, you know, which is really cool. So you can kind of focus and hone in on those and work on clearing those and removing them or releasing them or healing them or whatever it is that you want to do with those. And recognizing that, like, you know, the triggers are gonna continue to come up in different circumstances in your life. But when you can kind of hone in and say like, oh, wait a minute, like, I have a tendency to be a very anxious person, or I have a tendency to be a very fearful person, or I have a tendency to be a very angry, irritable person, or I have a tendency to be a very sad, depressed person. So when we kind of like know that about ourselves, when triggers arise and we're like, oh, I'm feeling a certain way about this thing, it's like, oh, that's a familiar feeling. That's a familiar emotion. That's part of my blueprint. That's part of who I am. So now I can use that, like that emotion, as kind of a red flag for, not a red flag, but like a yellow flag maybe for myself, to recognize that, ooh, something's coming up for me. It's very familiar. Maybe I'll get out my pendulum now and I'll run through my list. Yeah.
Wow, that was a great explanation. So there's a few comments. Let me just see if, well, first of all, why is this not coming up? There we go. Art and Erica say hi, Natalie.
Hi,
guys. Yeah, and sorry to interrupt you, Natalie, but welcome to my show. So Dr. Shannon's here. Hi, Shannon. So let me play her theme song real quick. I'm glad you're here, Shannon, and I hope the cleanup of your community is, sending love to your community, which is hit pretty hard by a hurricane. She's in Florida. Okay, here you go, Shannon.
Shannon is here. Hey, Dr. Shannon.
Hey. All right. So I'm glad you're here, Shannon. Okay, Natalie. Yeah. So tell us more about your class. So when is this going to be?
Yeah, it is scheduled for an in-person virtual, not in person, I'm sorry. Live virtual. Unless you want to come over. I mean, why come on over. Everyone's
You might
welcome.
not want to open that door.
Yeah. No, but we're gonna do it via Zoom. So it's gonna be a long day. So and the reason I chose to do it live versus pre-recorded was I love to have synergy. I love to feel people. I like
Yeah.
kind of exactly like what you're doing right here with your show. It's just so much more fun. It makes it so much more engaging, and I love the participation. And this medicine, these teachings, this system is something that is so helpful when you get examples from real life people. So like when someone tells you like, oh, I'm a fire element and I feel so I love people, but I also need a lot of space from people. And then other people say something like, oh my gosh, me too, you know? And so then it just kind of really helps to build community, helps to bring us together, a sense of belonging, understanding. That's why I chose to do it that way. But it is going to be a long day. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be from 9 a.m. California time until 5:30 p.m. We will take a break. So 8-hour day. Yeah, I know. It's a long one. At the end of it, though, I do also have a workbook that people are going to get too. And if you fill out the workbook and you send it in, then you get to become certified by me. Ding. So as a 9-star key reader, and you can apply that. And like I said, it's really useful for people who are already healers, also people who are just interested in metaphysical work or energy medicine, or really literally just like personal growth or spiritual development of any kind.
Yeah, increasing awareness.
Yeah, it's just going to give you more information about who you are, why you're here, your strengths, your weaknesses, your karmic path, your destiny, common roadblocks that get in the way for you, emotional blocks, limiting beliefs, you know, kind of this idea of what your combination of elements looks like. So you can then better understand yourself and then other people around you as well. And I use this, I have like a whole card catalog of people in my head. And this is how I literally think about people. So when I think about you, I think, oh, Colleen is a 7. And 7 people are artistic, they're spiritual, they're empathic, they're intuitive, they're highly, highly sensitive people.
And incredibly attractive.
Yeah. You know, they go into a room, they can feel the energy, they are sensitive to other people's energies. So I think it's really helpful to know that about a person so you can better relate to them, better understand them. What are their motives? Where are they coming from? Yeah. I just think it helps all of our relationships. And then what's really cool with this practice too is that you can look at what year somebody is in. So I say like life moves in very predictable cycles, just how we have winter that turns into spring, summer, fall, and we just keep doing it, right? Same thing with our numerology and same thing with our astrology. We really move through these things at a predictable rate. So I like to tell people like, hey, you know, what's good about this information is that when you have an understanding of where you're at, what you're meant to be learning, right? Like the life lessons, the themes, the universal influences that are impacting you, the transits that you're in, it doesn't change anything other than your awareness and your understanding.
But it's all about awareness. I was realizing the other day, and anybody can argue with me if they want, but it's my show. So I think all everything that we don't love it all comes down to one thing. It's just a lack of awareness. It's just a lack of awareness, you know? Yeah. I have nothing else really to say about that, but in my mind, it's like, yeah, it all comes down to a lack of awareness. And the more aware we become and the more we understand ourselves on these deepening levels, it's like life gets so much more interesting and we can, yeah, it just helps. Damn it, it just helps.
It does. It does. It does. I mean, that's, you know, I think the spiritual journey truly is really one of just self-awareness, you know, and body awareness. and being present and mindful, present moment awareness, they say in Buddhism, right? Because it means you're participating in your life, you know, and that you are fully embodied.
Yeah, it's about participating in your own life. And I think, well, dare I say no, a lot of people just keep on rolling along and keep trudging through and getting through it. And oh my gosh, well, to me, that's just a lack of awareness. It's like, wow, maybe some people, like literally, some people don't realize that um, they are lovable no matter what, just because they exist. For example, maybe that's too big of an example.
That's a huge one, right? Because we have so many stories, right, on us that are not that, and the world will reflect back at us all kinds of different things, and especially the lovable energy that brings so much pain to people in their lives, not knowing their value, not knowing their worth, not knowing that they're lovable. I mean, that's real stuff.
Yeah, and so I've been listening to. Well, first of all, thank you for coming over and recording the beautiful foreword that you wrote. I always say it's like I feel like the foreword is worth the price of admission alone. Yeah, just so magical. And I've been listening back to some already edited chapters of my book and just looking for, kind of fine tuning it. And the other day I listened to the shame dump one, and it all starts with, and it's just when I listen to this back, it's like I feel like I've moved forward so much. It's like, oh, cute, Muffin, you thought you weren't good enough for a second, or you didn't love yourself. What that doesn't even fucking make sense to me now. It's crazy. So I'm listening to it, and I had totally kind of forgotten. It's nice to have this in writing, and to hear myself say back to me, it's like that day that I came up with that, I was sitting in my office chair on the couch, I guess, and just asking the universe, like, kind of, could it be possible that I could just love myself as I am? And it's like, it's so magical. And yeah, I've done a lot of work around it. Now I can legit say, like, I love myself. I appreciate myself. I think I'm great. I mean, do I have my issues? Yeah, being a human and all, that comes with the program. But yeah. And so yeah, and that was just kind of like doing that shame dump. It just brought more awareness to me. Like, oh shit, I'm holding a lot of shame. I didn't even realize. And then like felt like I'm gonna write down what I feel shameful about, which felt like such a big deal at the moment, like such a huge act of bravery. But really, now looking back, it's like, okay, like it was like no big deal. But like that put me a step ahead in having that much more awareness and that much more of a better life overall. So the more awareness, the more you can understand who you are, more tools you can have, including what you're talking about. It just, life gets richer and more interesting, and you can connect more dots. And not everybody wants to do that. Not everyone's a seeker, I guess. Well,
I know, which is such a funny thing to me, that I'm always having to wrap my mind around that too, is that I came out of the womb a seeker. I was like, okay, where are we going? What are we doing? What's next? How do we make this better? You know, so for me, knowledge is power so much. And the more that I know, the better my life is, truly, especially around myself. Maybe not around the world. I may not know all the things about everybody else or universal truths, but knowing myself and understanding myself and where I'm coming from and where I'm at. And like that was what I was, kind of alluding to before too, is knowing that what's cool about this system is that I can take a look at anybody's birth star and I can tell you what year they're in immediately. And then based off of that, I will know what they're dealing with, what obstacles, challenge, struggles, whatever is happening for them. I may not know like the exact specific details of that, because it changes and everybody's story is different. But there are these very, very universal human themes that we operate under. We think we are super different and that our pain is different, and it's not. Like, we all share a lot of the same story, a lot of the same wounds. Again, different faces, different names, maybe different backdrops in the scenario, kind of like the play of life, the theater of it all. But there's only so many storylines, right? So yeah, we can do it different each time that we move through a cycle. But when we understand that, we can have more grace and we can have more compassion and more kindness towards ourselves. Oh, like, this is, like, I'm not making it up. Like, this is a hard year. Like, I am being pushed out of my comfort zone in XYZ ways. And when I know that, then for me, because I like information, I like knowledge, then for me, I can ease up on myself and go, okay, there's a bigger reason for this. This is an opportunity for personal growth, spiritual development in this area for me. Like for you this year, you're in the house of 9, which is the house of fire. It's the direction of the south on the Bagua. It's this time where you're coming out into the world, and like, holy shit, like, you're being seen in the biggest possible way this year. And okay, like, you've been ready for this and you've been wanting this, and this is like the time, but still, it's still going to bring up your shit. It's still going to trigger these feelings of what that means to be in the spotlight and have that shine on you, And so it's good to know these things. I think for me, at least, it's been very super helpful. And how I relate to myself and how I relate to others, to know what they're going through. So then I can practice more compassion and kindness. And that does extend out to other people.
Yeah, that's really important. And, and I'll just tell you right now, I've been kind of burnt out on school since like 2001. But I've been in a real big learning phase, and I think I want to take your class. It's like, oh, can I handle another thing right now? But I think
it's not going to be hard. It's actually really not hard. I promise you. It sounds really hard, and I do have a lot of background, in how I got here and how I blended all these things. But I don't teach it like that. I think
the hard part for me really is the 8 hours. But look it up. I've been going to some seminars lately, and it's like, oh, it turns out I can do this again. Yeah,
you
so
can always do your laundry while you're listening, or like whatever.
Yeah, but I love different modalities that help me understand myself more. Like, I have a book that I've had for so many years. Like, I've repurchased it several times because I've lent it out so many times over the years, and then I lose it. But it's called The Life You Were Born to Live, and it's a numerology thing, and it's one of those things where I love it because I only go back to it every maybe couple years, and I can see my growth. Like, it's based on, like, I'm a 2810 in his system, and 2810s, like, part of their path is to become their own authority, and it's like, and 2810s make as much money as they decide to. It's like, that's always stuck in my head. And and I'm realizing now, part of my awareness is like, oh yeah, I've always thought I had money problems. No, I've had being seen problems, and being seen and being who I am in the world, that's intricately connected to my money. And literally just recently I realized, I'm willing to be seen now for what I do. And I've done what's the technical term, fuck ton of work around it. And man, the amount of shit that came up writing the book and the editing process, and like so much like old persecution energy, and I'd start feeling like shit when I'd work on my book, and then I'd get there with somebody dark with me, and ultimately the message was, you need to just stop doing, like, don't put yourself out there. So just tons of battles like that, which might sound crazy, but
no, it doesn't. It actually makes so much sense. Because I think, again, I always forget, I think it's Jack Kornfield. Maybe I think that's who said this. But everything you want is on just outside your comfort zone, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, and I think that's such, and again, I butchered that. So I'm sure it's better said than that. But anyway, the idea is that our comfort zone, it keeps us safe, right? And we like that because we like safety, we like certainty, we like comfort. Yeah, but there's no real growth there, right? And so I think that we plateau in certain ways. It's like, okay, I've had enough, and we need plateaus. By the way, I think plateaus are awesome as long as we don't stay there, you know, because it does give us a moment to catch our breath. It does give us a moment to synthesize and
Yeah,
integrate and process and all of that. But then if we're staying too safe, we're not going to expand, right? And so, like, so much of our potential, and that's why I also love the 9-star key, because we then look at your outer star and we look at what is your potential, what is your destiny, like, what are you evolving towards, you know? And like for you, your evolution isn't to just stay here. Your evolution was to go to the next step. So like that part of the what are you evolving towards? And in that growth, I mean, I always think of like snakes shedding their skin. It's not a beautiful thing for them. You know, it's not like one day they wake up and they're like, I'm so like shiny and fresh, you know, like it's this really kind of like tumultuous process for them of like feeling deeply uncomfortable and feeling like they need to rub up against rocks to create friction to break through and break free. So that's how I see spiritual growth, personal growth is in a very same way, is that we will start rubbing up against these like, well, these friction points in our lives, you know, that are to really help us to be set free, but they don't feel like that in the moment. They feel so uncomfortable. And I think that that's where your work really helps, is like alleviate a lot of that discomfort while we are getting ground up against a rock.
Yeah. Thank you. That's really well put. You're brilliant.
Oh, takes one to know one. Thanks.
Anyway, well, I'm excited about your class. Yeah, like for reals. We'll talk about yeah, I'll check in with my pendulum, but I'm feeling like this sounds really exciting. And you're just entertaining, and I love the way you weave things together with stories, and
Thanks. Yeah. This class is really, you know, I want everyone to learn this. And like I said, I've made it super accessible. Like this stuff is hard, not gonna lie. But I made it in a way that it's all charts and graphs, just like your stuff, where it's like it can be very easily accessed. Because I want it to be accessible. I want it to be something that people use. I want it to be something that they can reference really quickly. And that's where all the charts and graphs come in, because otherwise, yes, there's a science behind that. And there's the flying stars and the directions and like, blah, you know, which is cool and beautiful. And I think we need to give honor to the tradition in that way, but to make it applicable in real world, modern day life, you know, we are a culture of convenience. So we do need it to be easy. We do need it to be easily digestible, palatable. And that's what I've tried to do with this program, is to make it so that literally anybody off from any background could learn it quickly.
That's great. And, you know, it brings to mind, just the importance of how you have, what's the right word, synthesized all this information through all of your magic, and then you're presenting your, you know, through all of your magic, I'll just say. And like I heard somebody say the other day, they said it so well, and now I don't know what it was. Oh, it was something to the effect of like, yeah, a lot of people might be saying, you know, roughly the same things, but I didn't hear it until I heard it from you. So you just never know, like, you know, how you are with the Natalie Vail magic whipped into it and synthesized through your brilliant brain. Like for real, is everyone. She's super smart. I'm not just saying.
Thank you so much. Well, again, really right back at you. Thank you.
I guess I have papers to prove it too. I don't know if you saw this, but Art and Erica said the snake analogy was amazing and so true.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So you just never know well, it's like what I've been telling people, like when people are kind enough to go to the trouble of, well, reading my book, and if you loved it, please put a review on Amazon. And I'm not saying that for my ego. I always encourage people to say what say, like, if the book affected you in a certain way, write that review, because you just never know who might see what you wrote, like the way you said it, like in a way that, like, oh, okay, I hear it now. You just never know. Magic works in mysterious ways. So
It
yeah.
does. It works in very synchronistic ways. And last thing I'll say is I had a teacher, I would get really frustrated when I was a newbie psychic. And one of my teachers told me, let it go. Because I would tell people, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z. This is what I'm seeing for you. This is what you have to do. And then people wouldn't do it. And then 3 years later, I'd see the same person come back and they say, oh my God, I saw somebody else and they told me to do X, Y, and Z. And I did it. And my life is fabulous. And then now person so-and-so gets the credit for the epiphany of X, Y, and Z. And I get pissed. My ego was like, not about this, And my teacher shared with me, that it takes people sometimes 7 different times in 7 different ways in order to hear it. So I agree with you 1,000%, Colleen. We have to see things and hear things in so many different ways before it finally registers for us. And you could be that person that does that for someone. And I think that that's such an awesome thing. And, you'll never know if you're really that person. But yeah.
We were in chiropractic school in the so my chiropractic school now is all professional looking, but the chiropractic school I went to it had been a junior high school.
Oh no.
We had lockers that were and we used to always be like, oh, it's a junior high school, but it was actually wonderful. Anyway, blah, 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 who cares? So we had I think what they might call it now, the cafetorium. And there was a sign above the doors, as we would go out, and it was something like, you just never know what you say today that can do for, I'm not even remembering the quote, but just the same idea of, you just never know what you might say today to somebody that, can completely change their life, or just that one little shift, or that one little, yeah. So share yourself is the point here. Yeah. Share what you think. It matters. You might not think you matter, but everybody matters. So anyway, so there, I have spoken. We have spoken. Anything else you'd like to share?
I really think if you haven't already checked out Colleen's book, you should definitely do that. I hear that the foreword is the best part. I'm kidding. No, but for real, what I will say is it is truly an honor to know you, Colleen. I really feel that you were an integral part, and still are, of my life, and especially at a time when I really, really needed a lot of support. You were there for me when I was going through acupuncture school. This woman gave me all kinds of energy work, and I got to really be on the bleeding edge, shall we say, of your work, and to see it evolve over the last, 15, 16 years. It's really tremendous. And it's really wonderful to see you really embrace what your gifts are in a bigger way. And because so many people, I know I have personally truly benefited from that. So it's really great that other people get to now too.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you everyone for attending the Mutual Appreciation Society. Dave and I, so thank you so much, and right back at you. When Dave and I first met, and before we realized that we were in love and all that, but we exchanged emails, and the first email he sent to me, he ended it with, "Love, Dave, CADMAC co-president," or something like that. And I wrote back to him like, CADMAC, what's that? And he said, Colleen and Dave Mutual Appreciation Club. It's like, oh. Anyway, so thank you for the CAN-MAC, CAN-MAC, Natalie Mutual Appreciation Club meeting today. Yeah, I usually do energy work at the end, but I think I'm gonna, I'm not feeling it today. I think this has been the work today. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I love you. I adore you. We can get together soon.
Yes. Yes. What I will say is if you are a fan of Colleen, you do get 10% off of my program.
Oh, that's right. And I'll be doing that. So if you're not already on my email list, I highly recommend going to energyhealingwithcolleen.com and signing up. And I'll be mentioning Natalie's class again as we get closer to it. And what's the date of it? November?
I'm sorry. Whoa, no. Saturday, November 16th, 2024. It's at 9 a.m. California time, goes until 5:30 p.m.
Awesome.
So, and it's $297 and you get 10% off. So yes. And you get a little certificate if you finish your workbook. Plus you get self-knowledge and you get to learn more about yourself and others. So that's
and a tool that lasts a lifetime.
Yes, exactly.
That you can use with family, friends, or just understanding the world better. And, this is a great time. Like we're going into, first of all, trigger season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays of whatever you celebrate, and then New Year's Eve or New Year's. So that's a rough time for a lot of people. So the more tools you have to understand yourself, the better, just the more set up you are. And it's like maybe instead of being so like, over the top angry at mom for doing that thing at Thanksgiving, maybe if you use, for example, Natalie's system, I know you didn't come up with it. You don't own it. It's been around for thousands of years. But what Natalie will teach, when you maybe you can, look up moms, all the 9 star key. Anyway, and you can maybe see like, oh gosh, mom, ooh, this is an extra hard year for her. And astrologically, she picked a rough one in this lifetime. So I'm going to have maybe I can have a little extra compassion for her being on her path.
Yes.
Honoring everyone's path.
Yeah. And you can look at like really amazing, just on that note, and I'll say that I'll leave it there. But on that note, you brought up something really awesome. And I'm going to talk a lot about interpersonal relationships.
Great.
And in the course. And so we're going to talk about how the elements play together, or whether they are supportive, whether they are controlling, if they're combative. Like we're going to get into all that stuff because that literally impacts you with your relationships. So say for instance, like you're a fire person and your mom in this case is a water person. Fire and water don't play well together. Water has a tendency to put out fire, right? So you can feel like your mom can be overly domineering or controlling, or she'll always, put out your light, or she won't support your passions or whatever. And then when you understand like, oh, it's because my mom's a water person and I'm a fire person, we are just like not on the same page. And she's not ever going to be what I want her to be or need her to be because she's literally diametrically opposed to me. So, she's going to love me in different ways. Water people are going to love you through intuition and emotions and feelings and depth. And so if you can lean into that part of her and understand that can really help to heal the relationship. So
that's beautiful. That's huge.
Yeah.
That alone could be really huge for somebody. So this is what I think everyone should do. So I've decided I'm just going to add Natalie's class onto the different gifts that could really change somebody's life. Like as we're approaching gift season, I wrote in my newsletter the other day, or I guess it came out today, this morning. What day is it? And I was like, hey, here's a great gift idea. Like my book, a journal, how about a really pretty pen, and then a gift certificate to a woo-woo shop or, some beautiful shops so that they can go pick out their own pendulum. And, you know, and another great gift would be the gift of this class. Invest 8 hours, invest a Saturday, like really make it all about you. You know, if you can, cancel any other usual things you have to do on Saturdays. Like really focus on like, wow, this could be a day just for me. Make it lovely. Make yourself a lovely lunch to have later. Have a lovely warm beverage. You know, create a space that you can have some privacy and some quiet, and where you can set up a nice, you know, a comfortable seat, maybe have some sage or something to burn, or some Palo Santo, and really create the space with yourself and create some intentions around opening up to who you really are, and just be open to what shows up, open to the magic. Wow, I have a lot to say about that. So that's what everyone should do.
From your lips to God's ears. Thank you.
And maybe Natalie, you can send me the link again, and next week's, I'll put it in my newsletter, but maybe for next week's show, I'll include the link and the code for the 10% off and all that. Anyway, well, thank you. This was so much fun. I love you once again. I still love you. And yeah, and I'm just going to go ahead and sign out while you're here. So thank you for watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching in the future. I love you and appreciate you. Please let me know if I can be of any assistance for you. Once again, my website is energyhealingwithcolleen.com, or if you have my phone number, just send me a text. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Anyway, so let's go ahead and remember how to sign off here. So I'm going to sign off with my beautiful theme song, care of Artica Productions. Thank you again, Natalie. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you next week, I hope. Bye.
You are magic, magic. We are magic. Magic Mondays with